Well, coming up next weekend, not the weekend a few days from now, but on the 17th, 18th, and 19th, the Old Pros is presenting once again their Old Time Radio Theater. And this is a wonderful production. Today, I have as a couple great guests that normally you wouldn't see on stage. They're usually behind the scenes type of guys, right. But they will be on stage this time around because you will see all the sound effects being done. Today I'd like to welcome Johnny Levesque and Joe Silikoff. Johnny, good to see you. Joe, nice to see you.
Yes.
This is a really fun because a lot of times people don't get to see how these effects, these sounds are made. And of course, Johnny, for you, this has been your life in some ways, right?
40 years.
Yeah. Yeah, your career has spanned wonderful movies. One, we were just talking about it, that we showed on Monday, which is The Fugitive. So tell me about some of the things that you did as far as you did the effects on them. Were you the sound engineer, audio engineer, or Foley artist?
Post-production.
Okay.
So it's after they film on the sets and did the major production. When that's done, then they would bring us on. Mm-hmm. And the more complicated the movie, the earlier I would come on.
Ah, okay.
So I always tried to get on as early as possible,
yeah.
Especially for a movie like this. I mean, the excitement of just showing a sequence, any sequence, to an audience, you know, and getting the thrill of that moment when you take time to breathe.
Yeah, yeah. And, you know, a lot of times you look at these movies, sometimes I've seen they'll show something behind the scenes. And what's interesting is when the two main characters are talking and there's action in the background, it's totally silent. People are mouthing words like they're really saying something, and there's very, very rarely, I would assume, what they call practical effects going on, sound effects going on. It's all added, right?
Right.
But what's different here with the radio show and radio shows from years ago, right, Joe? Yeah. They are added, they are practical, they're happening then and now, right?
Right, and they're live and everything is, you're interacting with the actors and also the people doing the Foley sounds or part of the presentation.
Yeah, and what's really neat about that is people will see how it's done and how much it plays an importance in both live stage, of course, and definitely in film, right?
Yes, and we're trying to outdo ourselves every movie that we do.
It seems that way.
Yeah, and that's the way it should be. It should be exciting and be brought up to the level.
Johnny was telling me a story when we were sitting out there. In The Fugitive, there's a wreck, a train wreck.
Yeah.
And he, you know, normally when he's doing the sound, he doesn't get to hear the audience.
Yeah.
But he went to the movie and they actually applauded at the end of the train wreck.
Wow.
That's never happened.
Yeah, that's pretty neat. Now, when you do something like that, especially The Fugitives was what, 1993 about?
Well, it's the 25th anniversary of the release date.
So what type of systems were you using back then compared to what they use now? I mean, back then you were, by the early 90s, they were using some computer-generated effects, some digital audio and all, right?
It was the beginning of that.
Yeah.
And I didn't, I was too proud to recognize that it had already happened.
Yeah.
When we did The Fugitive, it was all analog.
Okay.
So everything that was done analog. Mm-hmm. When the movie that I did after that, which was Under Siege with Steven Seagal, it was all digital. So the transition from one to the other was like, pulling, it was pulling the strain of new technology, and like I said, people expecting it to be cheaper and faster, and it wasn't.
Yeah.
It was just different.
Yeah, and could become more elaborate.
And was bigger and bolder, and you could get the thrill of it.
Putting himself into hazardous situations just to record the sounds.
Right.
And for the Under Siege, he was aboard the USS Missouri, and was a little recorder and recording all the sounds of the doors and the things closing. And I've had the privilege to hear some of those recordings that he made, so it was my privilege.
And you know, a lot of times, Johnny, which I have seen, that the sounds we think we are hearing are not that at all. I can recall one of them is in the first Star Wars movie, the sound of the lightsabers. It was some steel line or something, you know, that you see on the telephone poles to hold them, and they tap it a certain way, and it made that familiar sound.
You can do that yourself.
Yeah, that's true. And was that more fun, do you think, back then, finding those sounds and just have them digitally ready for you?
We still do that. No,
Oh, you
it's
do?
all
Okay.
exactly the same as we did in analog, except now it's digital.
Okay.
So that doesn't mean a lot. It's more promotion.
Yeah.
And the beauty of that kind of the new recordings that we have, if they're paid attention to, and they can be as good as the old analog.
Yeah.
But sometimes the analog is the only good representation, because
Right.
it was done when that particular thing that you're recording was in favor, an old telephone or something like that. You've got the ability to make it sound however you want, as quickly as you can.
Yeah.
And you're always running against time and money.
Yeah.
Johnny is always looking for sounds. I mean,
Yeah.
when we're on the stage doing the rehearsals for the show, he picked up a ladder, he's moving it around, listening to what kind of sound it makes. And,
You just never
know.
know.
Yeah, I mean, it's just amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's true, because I helped out in a film years ago. It was more of a student film. A friend of mine did this, and we were looking for different sounds, and I remember we took stalks of celery and twisted it for, I can't remember what it was for now, but once it was on film, it was like, wow, that really sounds like what we were after. So you never know where
And
it
also
can be found.
you accept what you're given. In other words, if an audience sees something
Yeah, that's a good
and hears
point.
something, they assume that that's it.
Yeah.
They're not going to question the little bone, you know, was that celery or was that carrots?
Yeah. So you got some awards here. Tell me about these. I know you've gotten many awards over the years.
I love awards.
There's an honest man.
They're not given out.
Yeah.
enough.
So tell me, first the one, the FACE Award here.
Yes, this is a British Academy Award. It's called the BAFTA Award, British
Okay.
Academy of Motion Picture Arts. And it's extremely heavy.
Okay, I'm going to be real yes, wow, it is heavy. Wow,
That's what they
so
all
this
say.
was 1993 for The Fugitive. Very nice. Wow, this is, I don't even know how heavy this is, but it's beautiful.
Beautiful.
I really like that. That is nice. So what's the other one for? I'm going to put
This is the
over
motion
here.
picture sound editors. Are, you know, sort of people who are what I am.
Okay.
We all give out awards at the end of the season, and they do television and commercials and, you know, a whole broad band of things that. And this is for Under Siege. It won this. So I'm
Any
proud of
particular
that.
movie that you have worked on, or maybe a few of them that you really found rewarding? Maybe you didn't win an award on it, but it was just, wow, this was really fun and different.
The one that comes to my mind immediately is L.A. Confidential.
Oh, that was a great movie. I
Didn't
love that movie.
Win any sound awards, and it should have. So I was very disappointed in that.
Yeah. What did you like so much about that?
I love the story. I love the acting. I mean, it's just every time you put your fingers in the pie, you know, it grows and,
I'm going to put these
manipulates into other things, and it's just.
Let me put this down here. So that was, am I right? Was that the movie about that there was the tabloid going on, and Kevin Spacey was in? I mean, the cast
Russell
in that.
Crowe.
Yeah. it was remarkable.
Every time you turned around, there was another.
Yeah,
top
I
A actor.
remember Russell Crowe in that, just because you didn't know who he was at the time. He was pretty new.
It was his first.
And then another movie, all of a sudden, wow, he's speaking in an accent. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, he's British.
Yeah, so
from,
that was an excellent movie.
yeah.
Yeah, I think it's one of my favorite. It really was. It's something maybe we can show here. Now this is, again, from The Fugitive here. When you are doing the films here, are you doing the ADR as well with the
Yes.
actors?
Yes.
Okay, so you're overseeing everything. You're the sound
I'm
engineer.
responsible for all the sound.
Okay,
It depends on the movie,
yeah,
how much I get involved. A lot of composers like to keep control of the score,
right,
so they don't let it out.
yeah.
So I don't get to make a comment like, that's a lousy cue, isn't it?
So Joe, how did you get involved with the radio show? You did this one. Did you do this last year?
We didn't have a radio show last year, but I have. This is the first radio show, but I've been stage managing shows for the theater, for Old Pros and Theater Guild.
He's great.
And I'm also
I heard that. Yeah.
doing sound for the Theater Guild. So all the meetings, I do all of the audio. I have all the equipment, and so I've been putting that together. And I actually started. It was kind of a fluke thing. I was taking an emeritus class for acting. I had never done it before. And somebody came in from the show that was going on at the time, was The Butler.
Sure.
And they said to me, would you like to audition? I said, okay. Well, I'd never done it. I'd only been in the class like a day, so I was brand new. I auditioned, didn't get the part, but I said, I've done stage managing before. I like to help, and so that just started it all off. So I've been doing it ever since.
So this time around, you got to be on stage.
This time, yes, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes, there you
that's
go.
right. Yeah, usually I'm just backstage, and you never see me. So, yeah.
This is your moment. You want to stick with this? In other words, you think you'll audition for a dramatic role, or being on stage as an actor, not just the sound guy.
They keep
which is pretty
pushing me.
neat.
Yeah,
right?
I know they keep pushing me to do that, but I really enjoy doing
This looks like more fun.
the backstage stuff.
Yeah.
It is more fun
Yeah.
because nobody knows what it is.
Yeah.
It's a beauty thing, or
Yeah,
how long it
yeah.
should take, or
Yeah,
beauty.
and it's for me. Well, I was an engineer, and I was an electronic engineer. So for it all kind of comes together for me. I'm rather organized, so running the shows and doing all of that is easy for me. I think acting would be a lot harder.
And of course, with a performance like this, a live performance like old radio shows were,
yeah.
you got to hit your marks and hit your cues just like the actors do.
Right. Yes. So for me, I've taken the scripts, I've marked them with where the cues are supposed to be, and then on my computer I have all of the cues marked, and so I just it says 1, push 1.
Yeah.
It says 2, you push 2. So, but you have to know when to do that. So that's where the script comes in, and also the rehearsals and practicing.
Yeah.
With the cast.
And also, you have an interesting voice. You really do. It's an interesting voice.
Oh, well, that's
and,
good.
And well,
He should know.
you need
Yeah,
you need to
That's right.
expand the wealth that
Well,
you're
I know,
given.
Barbara Powell, who has
sure.
a show here. She keeps pushing me to go and sing in one of her, TV shows.
Yeah.
Or one of the other shows as well. I actually was in a barbershop chorus, and
really?
that's where I actually started stage managing. I stage managed a 100-man barbershop chorus in Orange County.
Wow, 100?
It was-
all
yeah.
singing together at once?
Yeah, all at once.
Oh, that must have been remarkable.
Yeah, we put
So you had
that-
like 25 baritones and 25 tenors?
A lot
and-
of everything, yes, right.
Oh, that must have
Not
just
too many
been-
tenors. You
yeah.
didn't need too many.
Yeah, well, that must have been just the power behind
Yeah,
that.
it was really. We actually got to perform at the Performing Arts Center, the Orange County Performing Arts Center. When they first opened, they had a lot of dark time,
Yeah.
and so they allowed us to book in, and we actually sold the theater out in the first night. We were there for 2 nights.
Yeah, that is
So
neat.
It was a lot of fun.
Do they all have the garb on? You know, the
Yeah,
pinstripes and the hats and the whole
right.
bit?
That's right. We
Yeah.
had different costumes for different things.
Yeah.
And we also went around and did other venues. We also were at the Barclay Theater and places. After the Performing Arts Center kicked us out, we went to the Barclay.
Yeah.
It was a little smaller, but
Still very
yeah,
nice.
It was a lot of fun.
Very good.
And that's so I was a bass in the vocals.
Well, maybe we'll see you here in a barbershop.
Maybe you might
That would be
see
good.
me.
Hey, gentlemen, I want to thank you both for coming on. Pleasure to meet you, sir.
Ken, thanks.
Joe,
Thank
nice
you.
to see you. And again, this is next weekend. It's Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And it's going to be the 17th, 18th, and 19th at the Performing Arts Center. You can get tickets over there. And I think you're going to have a lot of fun, and you'll get to see everything, how it all comes together in a live performance. I think there's, 3 acts? Am I
3,
right?
yes.
Yeah, there is The Great Gildersleeve, The Bickersons, and The Day the Earth Stood Still. So you get 3 for the price of 1. Not bad. Gentlemen,
Great.
again, thank you, and
Thank
we'll be
you.
right back.
All right.
That was cool.
Thank
Man,
you.
this thing is heavy.